welcome everybody. I'm Brian Littleton of Racelogic Chassis School, and we got Mr. Dallon Murty on tonight. How are you, bud? You doing good tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you?
Man, doing well. Here in Arkansas, it's 100 degrees on this late in the year, but yeah, we're doing good. We'll kind of wait here. We'll get a few people on. I can see the numbers up here. We'll wait just a few minutes. We'll get a few people on, and we'll kind of talk about uh, what your year has been like and what you plan on doing next year, and we'll talk about the class and some different things, kind of how all that'll go and everything. And I appreciate you being on. I know you're busy. People don't realize that you're still in high school, so you go to school all day, race at night. I know there's still a lot of races going on. Looks like we got a lot of people on now. Kind of give us a little rundown of how your years went this year and what all you've raced and kind of what your goals were and all that.
Yeah, our year, it's been super busy so far. We took on a role of picking up a modified, and it's been a big uphill battle. Really, I thought I could do this 2-car stuff, but it's just a lot of work, and that's go to school, and then I come home and I'm in the shop till 9 o'clock, and I come in, go to bed. But no, it's been a pretty good year so far. Last year we had a really good year. This year it's just we've been so busy with both cars, but it's gone really well. We've won quite a few races so far, and the mod deal's gone pretty good for our first year. We've won a few races, and that thing, it's a whole different ballpark.
Right. Yeah. I know you won a bunch of stock car deals, and of course you won Super Nationals again for the second time. So another big win there. And I'm sure that's probably one of your biggest wins in your career. Maybe Bristol, I guess, or some other deals, but it's always good. And win it back to back is hard, I know. So being able to do it twice is a big deal. And what's the plans look like next year? Have you got anything worked out on what you're looking at next year?
I don't know yet. Probably just we'll probably keep the same cars and the same modified. We ran for 2 track points this year in the modified, so it kind of limited our, going out and racing out of state every weekend with the stock car for big money. But we still raced quite a few big shows. But next year will probably just be chase all the big money shows with both cars, and probably just go from there. We usually play day to day of where we're gonna race at.
Right. Yeah, I know you guys didn't really chase points anywhere other than maybe your mod deal you did, but
yep.
I know the stock car deal you never really chased points, and I don't think your dad has either in his time. Just kind of race where the money is and do that deal. I do kind of have a question here, but I'll read it off to you because somebody asked real quick, and we'll throw it in before we move on. They'd like to know what it feels like when you change from running American Racer over to G60. Have you running USRA stuff, maybe with American Racer over and then back and forth?
I haven't. I've ran it maybe just a few times. Usually when we go USRA racing, we don't even have 4-barrel carburetors. So when we go USRA racing, we'll show up IMCA legal for the most part. We don't change. Like I said, we don't have carburetors, which that's the biggest difference to me. So the American Racers, they're a better compounded tire to me, but like a stock car, them American Racer sidewalls ain't as hard, so they tend to fold over easier. And honestly, it depends who you talk to. Some guys think they're way better, but if you're racing IMCA, I wouldn't go out and buy American Racers just to go race a few USRA events. But if you're gonna do a full USRA schedule, then I definitely go buy American Racers.
Okay, good. And we'll wait to see if any more guys got some questions. We got a lot of people on watching right now. I know we've talked a little bit, and I've been working on you for about the last year to get you and your dad to do chassis school. Most people know that I've done them for years with multiple racers all over the United States, and was really proud to do it. We sold out in like 3 weeks and still got people begging to get in, but we are sold out. I know your dad has kind of done some stuff in the years past, and this will kind of be your first one, but we kind of talked a little bit there off air. I know you're kind of excited, looking forward to it because, I know you started. How old was you when you first started racing? When did you actually first climb in a car?
I did go-karts when I was 3 years old, and then I ran a stock car race when I was 11, and then my first kind of full year was 12, and then my first actual IMCA year was 14.
Yeah, and what are you about? You're 17 now, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I know you've been at it a while, but and I'm sure it's pretty. I'm sure you feel good about people wanting to listen to what you got to say and try to help other racers. And I've talked to you and your dad. I mean, that was my goal from when I started this 27 years ago. Was there's a lot of racers that need help, and you all don't always get that at the track or maybe even from a chassis builder. So that's why I started doing these is to try to help guys, get better, and so that's you guys naturally are winning a lot of the big races. So that's why I went after you guys, and I know you're really looking forward to the class and kind of what you guys can bring to it.
yep. No, yeah, we're looking forward to it. That's our goal, anyways, to help as many people as we can.
Sure, and I get a lot of questions about how it's set up and what we're going to do, but I know we've talked. We'll definitely have. We're trying to have one of your guys' car there, depending on if it's in a million pieces or not. But we'll definitely have a car there. I know we're going to do the load sticks because your dad was telling me that's something y'all do a lot of
Yep.
when you're setting the car up. So we'll have that, and we'll have a front clip there off a metric car, so you guys will be able to see a lot of the front end stuff, and it's going to be really good. And I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I think I was telling you there's guys from coast to coast coming, so
Yep.
a little bit. Not all are IMCA racers, but probably 85% are. There's some other types of racing out, I think, on the East Coast that are a little bit different than what you guys do, but still a lot of the things are going to apply to it's a metric stock car at the end of the day. So a lot of things you guys are doing is still going to apply to it. So, and we got a lot of good stuff planned, and we're really looking forward to it. Let's see here. I got a couple of questions. We'll throw this out and see if you understand it. Can you read that there? It says opinion on lower spring location on the rear end. Does that make sense what he's asking?
Is it like moving anytime the spring gets lower on the rear end, you're changing your spring table. And to me, like this new stuff we've been working on, it's like when you get a soft left rear spring and it gets crushed down because you want a lot of load in it. Well, when you get a lot of load in the left rear, then it causes your spring table to be negative, where the left rear is almost lower than the right rear spring at right height. And we found that getting your spring table positive, which your left rear is higher over your right rear spring, is just creates more static drive. So lowering it would probably hurt you on the left rear, but right rear it could help. But I've never experimented with anything like that. So I just always try to get a positive spring table, but that would probably hurt it on the left rear, but it might help on the right rear.
Okay, good. Let's see. Somebody just said yes on the load stick. So a lot of guys are looking forward to that. I know that's been something that's really come into play the last probably less than 2 or 3 years, I'd say, is the load sticks. I'm sure when your dad first started racing, it was always scale, scale, scale every night. Now a lot of people are just going to the load sticks. I'd say, when you say that'd be right.
Yeah, that's really become a big factor the last couple of years. And the problem with the load stick is it's such a great tool, but there's a million ways to screw it up, and there's only one way to do it right. So I think that's kind of the confusion about it.
Now here's an open-ended question, but I'm going to throw it at you. This guy's from Washington. I think I know who it is, and I can read it to you. I know it's hard to read on your phone. It says, any tips on what to do when your car is really good on a heavy track, but loses traction and drive when it slicks off? Feels like everything goes away. He said he drives an IM stock car from Washington. Is that any way you can lead somebody? I know shock springs, a lot of that all matters, but is there anything in particular that you can throw at him that might help?
Yeah, when it's like that to me that means that your car is not it's not very tight. It's rather loose. So when the track's got moisture, I mean, you got so much more mile an hour speed. Your car's not so glued to the racetrack. where when it's heavy, the track, it'll carry you around and you feel like it's pretty good. But the slick, I mean, your car ain't gonna be in posture as good because you're not getting so much weight transfer because you're not on the gas as much. So to me, if I'm good in the moisture and I'm bad in the slick, it'd be one more left rear load, or less right rear load, or less right front load, just to get the car already in posture, since you're not going to have all that speed going into the corner, and it's not going to want to get on the right front, or let the left rear stand up like it would if it was tacky.
Okay, good answer. Another quick question here we'll throw in before we get back to. So, would you run more air pressure on American racers versus a G60?
Yeah, that would probably be a solution to that softer sidewall, especially in the right rear. Uh, the left rear, it might actually help you just because you're going to get more instant traction with the sidewall being softer. But probably I'd increase your right side air pressures.
Okay, good deal. And like I said, guys, if you got any questions, I'm not going to keep him long. I've been asking him about 3 weeks to get on, and we had Super Nationals and a lot of stuff, and I know he's busy. You got any other races left this year that you guys are going to do before the end of the year?
Yeah, we're actually pretty busy. We're going to Memphis, Missouri this weekend with the stock car, and then I'm driving a guy's sport mod, and then we go to the Fall Bash in Tipton for 3 days. I'll probably take both cars there, and then we go to I-80 for their Cornhusker Classic, and then to Dubuque for that XR race, and then Vegas is a couple weeks after that.
Oh wow, yeah. How you going to get to school and racing and everything? It's going to be tough, ain't it?
Yeah, it's tough.
You go all day to school now, or do you get out early?
It's confusing because like on Mondays and Thursdays I get to go in later, and then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I get out around 1:50.
So you can get out in time to head off to a race somewhere on Fridays a lot of times.
Yeah, and this is the first year it's actually I've been able to do that. It's called senior leave, so I was a junior last year, so I had to stay all day and manage it that way.
Yeah. I know I've talked to you about Batesville and a couple other trips, and you're like, man, you've already missed a lot of school with Super Nationals. So uh, I know you want to get your high school diploma first before you race. So I know that's important to you. Well, man, like I said, I know we've got we're gonna have a full house there at Dave Hammond's, and I was on the phone with him a little bit earlier, and he's looking forward to it. And like I said, this is probably the most excitement I've had in any class in several years. So, and I know it takes time away in the winter, from you and your dad, but we appreciate you coming in, and we got a lot of good stuff, a lot of nice giveaways. I put out the other day. I talked to Brad at Velosta. I know you guys run Velosta Fire Suits. Talked to him at Super Nationals, and he's going to give half off one of his team suits, $1,500 suit. So somebody in the class is going to win, $750 value really is what it is. And then, Ben hadn't gave me the exact numbers, but AFCO usually gives out about $8,000 worth of gift certificates. So we got a lot of really nice stuff we're going to give away. And some guys out on the East Coast or the West Coast, Von Stone with a Pit Sky Lice. He's one of the original innovators. He'll be at the class. They run stock cars, but he's also got a bunch of gift certificates. So a lot of the guys in the class is going to win a lot of money, a lot of gift certificates. And I'm still working on some other things that that I ain't able to talk about yet, but we're going to have a lot of giveaways in the class. So a lot of guys walk out of there with possibly more money than what it costs them to get in the class. So that's going to be good. What about, I know you get asked this a lot. What about any aspirations on late model world someday? Is that anything that you've got in the back of your mind you'd like to do?
Yeah, that's probably my overall goal is to be racing super late models today.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Uh, have you ever jumped into any kind of sprint car, micro sprint, or anything? Have you done anything like that yet?
No, the closest thing I've done to that is cage kart, but that was a while ago when I was younger, and that was just a go kart motor. But it had a wing on it, but nothing like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just I know a lot of young guys always look to the late model world, but sprint cars. Of course, you guys not a lot of sprints in your part of the world, I know, but Chili Bowl and different things is always you see a lot of guys jump over into them. I mean, Tim McCready's done it. A lot of them guys has come over and run that stuff. Uh, and then somebody said a nice set of Hammond plates would be cool to give away. Well, we'll ask Dave when we get there. He's got some stuff he's going to give away. I know Dave. He'll you never know what he might come up with. So, like I said, there is a lot of other things that I'm working on as far as some giveaway stuff. So, guys always look. I had guys last year that that won $300, $400, $500 worth of gift certificates, and you know what it costs to race. So if you can win, a $500 off at AFCO, you can go. You can go buy you a new radiator or something with it. So that stuff's always nice for guys to do. So what about Bristol? When is that show?
That'd be March. I think it's the second or third weekend of March.
Yeah, I knew. That's when I was thinking it was late March. I was kind of waiting here to see if anybody had any last minute questions or something they wanted me to ask you, or any other pointers or help. So we'll give it a few more minutes, and I'll let you get off and get back to what you're doing. But like I said, I showed you a little bit of the book we're working on. So we will have a book, and we are revamping that a little bit this year. So I know a lot of guys always ask, are we going to have any material there? And we will, and also we will video it live. That's the plan now. And I'm sorry, let me back up. We'll video it, and then within a couple of weeks after we video the class and we upload it online, and guys can go on and either purchase it later on, or if you attend the class, then you get the live portion free. So if you're in a class 2 months from now, you're at the track or where at the shop working on your car, and you can't remember what y'all talked about in a certain section, then they'll be able to log on and go back to that section of the class and watch it again. So that's really something cool we started doing the last couple of years, and that's been huge because, this sold out so quick. There's a lot of people, didn't get to get in or didn't have the funds to go. So like I said, once, usually 2 to 3 weeks when Kate gets it done, then we'll have it online and they can either purchase it. And like I said, anybody who attends does get it free. So that's another big plus, because I know a lot of guys go back to it. They either didn't take the note down and write it down or whatever. So they'll go back, and the class will be broke up into sections. So she does it like front end settings, will be however many minutes long it is. And then, you can go on the breaks or whatever. So it's all in sections, and you can rewind and fast forward and everything. So that's really cool how she does all that. She breaks all that down. So let's see. Let me see. Got a couple other things here. What are the best rear springs to run on the track that is always dry slick? There's another $1 million question, I'm sure.
The springs to me it's mainly your loads of what you're running. I wouldn't say I adjust a spring rate for a dry track or a heavy track. I just adjust load. So it's either taking turns out or putting turns in. But I don't know. For a dry track, necessarily you'd want a softer spring. So I'd probably say a 125 or a 150 in the left rear. And then a right rear spring, I wouldn't. I've never really adjusted a right rear spring for it being slick. So, but that'd probably either be a 200 or 225 though, if I just had to throw a number out there.
Okay, and I know there's a lot of other factors in that. So hopefully, whoever's asking these questions, I can't see their name, they'll be able to. Maybe they're going to the class, so that'll give them some idea. And then they can, I know there's a lot of other factors that goes into that. Just other than that, just a number of a spring. What about front springs on dry slick? Same guy, just rear and front.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's something I don't usually do is change springs from heavy to dry. It's like I said, just adjusting your loads. That's probably the biggest and key adjustment you can make is a load adjustments. Like your trailing arm and your shock sometimes can be too big of an adjustment, where you can dial yourself right out of the park doing that. So that's why I always adjust loads. That's just what we've done, and that's what I find works for me. But for the front, I'd probably go with my standard is just a 850 right front and 1100 left front.
Okay. Let me go through a couple. somebody said, congratulations on your success. Like I said, you can go back later and look. For some reason, they don't post a username in my comments, so I don't always know who it is. And 2 or 3 people said they can't wait for the class, so that's great.
Yep.
And there's a gentleman, he's probably been about 4 of my stock car classes through the years. He's from North Dakota. He says he's got a new job. He ain't going to be able to go. But every year, he usually gives me money to give away during the class. I mean, it's cool as hell, to see somebody do that. So Maddox Racing up north, he said he'll go send some gifts. He always sends me something to give away to somebody in the class. At the end of the class, we'll give out tickets, like 50-50 tickets. And so I appreciate him doing that. That's cool that people are doing that. He's still doing it. And let's see. We won't stay on a whole lot longer here. I was just trying to see. He said he's got a 2022 Harris stock car. Do you think those numbers will vary for a big half-mile track? Probably your spring numbers, I'm assuming.
The only like a bigger track for a half mile, you could go with either more. The only thing I usually adjust, but here lately I really haven't adjusted much when I go from a half mile to say like quarter mile. But you can either run more right rear load or a stiffer spring rate in the right rear, just because you're getting into the corner so much faster, and you'll come in a lot freer. Where a stiffer spring or more load will tighten your entry up.
Good. And then I think I told you before we started, he said a group of us are coming from Oregon. Going to be a good time. So there's about 6 or 8 guys from Oregon they're coming to class. And like I said, one of them's Von Stone. He owns Pit Skylights. You probably heard of him or seen him, but a really great guy. He's been in 2 or 3 classes of mine, and he always gives away some really nice. So he actually gives away some of the pit skylights, so he said they're going to be coming. And somebody said maybe we should have 2 classes with the Murtys. Well, listen, it took me about 6 months to get them with 1 class, so I'm not sure if I could get another one, but I done talked to Dad and you, and we, hopefully next year we might branch out a little bit. I mean, I don't know where, when. I mean, we might, I don't know. We'll just wait and see, but I know a lot of people would like to have another one, but I work a full-time job too, and it's hard for me to get away. And I usually just try to do one stock car deal a year. I got some other things that I do, but next year, who knows? We might end up in California, or I've done them in Las Vegas before, so you never know. We may go back there. I've done them in a lot of these guys here that are talking from Oregon. We done a class in Las Vegas in one of the casinos. I don't know how we pulled it off, but we did. So, of course, hell, you may not be old enough to even get in there next year, but
probably not. If you do that, have it during the Vegas show. I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of kidding, but
yeah,
I know this one was kind of close to home and all. It was easy for you guys to get to as much as y'all travel, but and another guy said, let's do one in Texas. And I think I know who that is, but man, you never know what we'll come up with after this one. It just have to see everybody's schedule and how it all works out. But we'll definitely look at something next year as well. I'm just trying to think if I got any last minute questions. We still got a lot of people on. If we'll kind of wait here a few more minutes and see if anybody's got any last minute deals. I guess you've had to sell your last 2 motors at the Super National. That's the way it works.
Yep.
Do you get a new motor? Do they do it like they do the crates where you get a new motor?
For the longest time, they didn't do that. So, like the hobby stock, sport mods, and mods all got motors. They got a new crate engine, but the stock car was the only one that didn't get a new motor. But I can't remember if it was 2020 or the last year. Mid-States finally started giving motors away.
So at least you didn't go home completely empty-handed. You actually got another motor. And do they build your motors now? Is that correct?
Yeah, they're the same thing. So it's
yeah, you just traded one for another.
Yeah, and we always freshen up or put new ones in right before nationals anyway. So
we'll throw a couple more questions, and I know I keep saying that, but a lot of people on here. Do you think old school stiff right front, stiff left rear can still compete, or is that a thing of the past?
We actually have done a little testing of this because like in 2019, I mean, my dad had his stuff rolling really good there, and then 2020 we kind of ventured to the softer left rear and a little softer right front. But we tried this actually probably about a couple months ago, and we noticed it was really good when the track had a lot of moisture, or it was about to slick off, but still had something to lean on. It was pretty good, but once it got super slick, or you had to stop and roll the bottom, it just didn't have enough instant traction to get you up on the left rear and on the right front to come off better. But I mean, if I'd say if you're at a track that's you got a lot of rain, or it's going to be heavy, stiffening the left rear up made a big difference when it was muddy like that. But just that it don't give you that instant traction, which kind of takes away the good feel of it. So I mean, you can go ahead and try it, and just it's all driver feel too. So
Okay. Two more questions, I promise. Any opinions on weight placement? I'm sure they're talking about lead.
yeah, I run most of my lead like in front of the fuel cell and like on top of the rear end, and I don't necessarily run it low either. I kind of run it a little higher than most people do, and then like obviously I have to run a little more left side weight just because I don't weigh as much. But I just have a few chunks on the left side and then a few behind the fuel cell, but most of my weight is in front of it and pretty centered.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I got some pretty funny ones here. Uh, how much rear bite do you recommend? That's another open-ended question.
If I had to throw a bite number out, I'd say around 170 to 175.
Okay, good deal. And this is funny. Not only you're a hell of a wheel man, you're a cornhole champ. Keep it up, Murty. To see you in January. Like I said, I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna look. It's probably somebody you know. I can look on my phone, but yeah, you had to win the cornhole to get the front row. Is that right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
think your dad won it too, right?
Yeah, he was on the outside front.
Hell, he didn't want to get beat either, did he?
Right.
Was y'all starting up front together last year too? I don't think you was you?
No, I can't remember where he started last year. I think he started 13th, and then I started 4th last year.
Okay, yeah. Now that boy that just said that he's another one from the Oregon area that just said that there. So got a lot from there. Like I said, there's I know Texas, Alabama, of course, Iowa and Kansas, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So we're gonna have all kinds of different. You think I'm country hick? Just wait. We'll get some, from the far north that'll be laughing at us, and then we'll have a lot of southern people too. So it's going to be good. I know you guys. I talked to your dad. I believe y'all come in Friday. We'll have a little meet and greet Friday night, just kind of so people can meet you guys and all the instructors and everybody can kind of talk from about 5 to 7 at Hammond's shop. And I can't say enough about what Dave Hammond has done for me and racing. If you don't know him, you need to. One thing about the guy, he's probably one of the most loyal people that I've ever met in my life. He's been helping me doing these classes, and he just called me one day and said, let's do something in my shop. It's I just want, you don't owe me a dime. Let's just come up here and do it. So, I got to give a shout out to him for opening up his doors. And so, but we'll do a little meet and greet. And then, Saturday morning, we usually get rolling at 8:00. So I hope you're early bird. No, I didn't see that smile. You'll have to get it. Well, I'll make you get up early a couple of days, but we'll start at 8. Usually we go to around 5. We will have some type of lunch on Saturday so everybody can stay at his shop. And his shop is all heated and cooled. It's all insulated. Got a big, beautiful shop there in Iowa. So we'll have a lunch, and then depends on how far we get in the book, kind of how late we go Saturday, but usually around the 5-ish mark. And then me and Dave's been working Saturday night. We've got a place there in town. It's kind of a pizza bar grill type deal. I think you'll be able to get in. I don't think you got to be 21 or anything. So we'll kind of all, guys, we'll all go out and eat, and have some pizza, and, it'll be up to, it'll be on, whoever wants to go. You don't have to go, but we'll kind of all get together Saturday night because you got guys all over the United States in the middle of Iowa and in the middle of a bunch of cornfields, so there ain't a whole lot to do, So we'll get together Saturday, and then we'll get up Sunday and start at 8. And like I said, depending, usually we end somewhere between 12 and 2. I mean, it's probably going to be after 12 because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of people there. And so sometime around 2 o'clock Sunday. I know a lot of viewers here. Some of them has never been to a chassis school. And so I kind of want to give them a little bit of rundown of how everything works and how we're going to be doing it. But that's kind of how everything will be. They said last question, I promise. So I'm going to throw one last one at you, then I'll let you get off there and get back to what you need to do. Do you prefer a more aggressive push-up shock or less aggressive on the left rear? I don't know that answer, but I'll let you answer it.
To me, the more aggressive shock on the left rear can free your entry up, and it almost frees it up too much just because it adds so much bite to the car, and it just frees the left rear up getting in. But it gives it more instant drive too. But every time I ran a stiff left rear, you lose all your straight line. So once you get to the gas, it feels good, but you have no straight line. So I don't run nothing crazy on the left rear. I mean, I can push it in, and that's saying a lot. So I went the way.
Okay, well, man, I appreciate it, buddy. You coming on tonight. I know you got a lot on your plate, a lot of races coming up. I was kind of hoping you guys would make your way back down to Batesville, but your dad said that I think Dubuque's got 5,000 to win or something, so you guys wouldn't be able to make it back down south again because I believe it's about 8 or 9 hours for y'all to come to Batesville. But good luck on the rest of the year. Looking forward to the class. I know you guys are going to do a great job, and I appreciate you being a part of what I'm doing. Like I said, I've been at it a long time, and a lot of excitement with this class in particular, and it's going to be really good. And we'll be looking forward to seeing y'all here in a few months. And I appreciate all the viewers out there. I know we still got a lot on here, and depending on how it goes, maybe we'll have you back on, sometime before the class for any last minute stuff. But man, good luck to you, buddy. And I appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you in a few months. Okay.
All righty. Thank you. No problem.
Thank you, bud.